Hello, YouTube. Man, y'all are coming in quick. You all are coming in with the quickness. Hello. Hey. I've missed you guys too. Hi. Hello. Goodness gracious. Y'all are just pouring up in here. I miss you guys too. Where's JP? JP is doing a live on his TikTok. He's not started yet, but he will be here in just a few minutes. So if you're not following him, I think it's at JP Devotee. If you want to go watch him. But we're going to be talking about this Colleen situation because, bitch, I have been taking some motherfucking notes, bitch. And listen, here's the thing, like, I'm not going to say that I'm a Colleen fan because I think that would be, come on, you guys probably know what kind of content that I watch. I think that her content, and after doing some YouTube studio research, her content is most certainly directed towards minors, which is what really pisses me off. Because if there's one thing that you know about Morgan and Shay is that we do not fuck with the children. We don't. We do not fuck with the kids over here. And that's my whole issue with the thing. Yes, back in 2010 till 2015, the comedy content that was on YouTube would now be deemed inappropriate. Things that people used to joke about back then is now not okay to joke about. What's important is that you come to your platform and you apologize for shitty things that you've said and done, right? Hey, Aaron. That's what's important, right? The problem is that we have one shitty video from Colleen in 2020 where it's titled Addressing Everything, okay? So let's just start from scratch. And the main video that I'm going to be referencing to in this entire live is Adam McIntyre's video. If you have not watched it, go watch it, but first watch his original video in 2020. Now, his original video in 2020 did not get it didn't get what it should have. You have somebody coming forward saying, you know, this is what's happened to me. This was my experience with this person. And, you know, I hate this term, but this is exactly what happened in this situation, is there's this power dynamic. You have this one person who, you know, is extremely filled with power, and you have this one person who is not. And not only this one person who is not, does he not have power, but also he is a minor child. Now, this is very strange to me. I cannot, for the life of me, like, I've been trying to rationalize in my head, like, why would she have this group chat? Why would she have this group chat? Why would she have this group chat? This bitch had a group chat with minors in her 30s. Okay. Fuck, this pisses me off. I'm in my 30s. I will be 34 this year. And I have zero desire to have a group chat. It needs to be lower than that, babe. It needs to be lower. I have literally no desire to have a group chat with children. None. I don't even text my own nieces and nephews. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if that's a Southern thing, like where kids around here, they just do not have phones this young, but we don't. My nephew has one. It stays in his backpack. I think I've seen that kid use it once. My niece has a cell phone. I've never seen her use hers. I've never seen hers with it out. But that's just weird. Why the fuck do you have a group chat with kids? If all of your friends are children, or if all of your fans are children, right? And your whole platform and your whole thing is Miranda Sings, right? Which is directed towards kids. Then you only have conversations and you only interact with those children when you are Miranda Sings and when you are in a professional, quote unquote, environment. You should not be in the comment section. You should not be in fucking group chats. Ooh, so weird. And she has the group chat called like Miranda Weenies or some shit, weird shit. Anyways, Adam McIntyre comes out in 2020 and releases a shitload of receipts from the group chat, from just messages between he and Miranda, or shit, Colleen, back and forth, back and forth. And at the time, he was 13 years old when their conversing started. Now, when things got really weird in the DMs was when Adam was 14 years old. 14, bitch. That's crazy. So I'm going to kind of go in chronological order of Adam's video. I watched the entire thing, but after a certain amount of time, it was just so much shit. Eventually, I was just like, okay, I can't take no more. And I think I got about an hour in my notes before I was like, okay, this is just enough. So we've already talked about Adam's original video, which got no attention whatsoever. Colleen did release a video in 2020 titled Addressing Everything. And in that video, she just kind of skims over most of it. The main thing that she does talk about is her giving away underwear, like lingerie, on live. So bizarre. Anyways, Cody Tyler. This is where things got really fucking interesting, because a few weeks ago, Cody Tyler, which is notorious for being a supporter of, not only being a supporter of Colleen, but also being a videographer, being someone who has been behind the scenes with Colleen Ballinger for years, okay? He released a video a couple of weeks ago, not only backing up Adam McIntyre's situation, but many others, and did release an apology. And Adam has been quite frank in the fact that he does not accept that apology. And, you know, I can't say that I blame him. He's young. He's 20 years old now. And I think at this point, you know, he's still very young. And probably this still holds a very, like, prominent part of his life and his situation, to where I think I can understand why he doesn't want to forgive Colleen, and, you know, he doesn't want to forgive them at this point, which I can understand. You know what I'm saying? I can get that. But that video dropped, and bitch, when that video dropped, people were shook, because nobody took Adam's video seriously in 2020. Nobody. He was 17 years old at the time, a minor child. His parents were pissed. He was upset, you know, because I think when someone that you are very much like, you look up to, they're your idol, when they do something that is so fucked up, I think that it does something to you mentally. Like when you first realize that your like when your mentor, when someone you look up to isn't perfect, I think it really fucks you up. Like it really makes you see things in a different light. And I remember that with Britney Spears when I was younger, and everybody was calling her crazy, and, you know, that she was losing her mind. And I witnessed her not be perfect. That really did a lot to me as a kid. So I can completely understand that. I do think with millennials and Gen X, with our generations, our people who we looked up to were actual celebrities. We looked up to music artists, actors, actresses, like people who were actually making some type of difference. Like they were actually talented. You know what I'm saying? The difference with Gen Z is that the people that they look up to are YouTubers. They are TikTokers. They are, you know, people who do not necessarily have a talent, right? They are just, you know, kind of funny sometimes, or they do stupid shit online, or they do these little 3-second dances on the internet, and it blows up, and all of a sudden they're famous. You know, it's a big difference in, you know, who I looked up to as a child, which was Britney Spears and Anna Nicole Smith. It's much different than what we're looking up to in today's generation, right? So Adam drops his video in 2020. He's 17. In this video, he releases a bunch of screenshots from a group chat that Miranda had with a bunch of her fans at the time. These screenshots that Adam showed in his video in 2020, these children are between the ages of 13 and 17 years old. At the time, Adam was 14. He was 14. That literally almost makes me want to break in hives. Like, to think about me being on YouTube now, number one, my videos are always marked not suitable for minors, always. I am a very strong believer that if you mark your videos to be suitable for minors, you better be playing a goddamn video game or be playing with toys. Like, you better fucking not be dropping F-bombs and talking about sex and doing weird shit and letting kids watch your videos. But Miranda Sings is a character. So, in my personal opinion, I don't even think Miranda Sings is suitable for children. I do believe we can compare Miranda Sings to like a Stewie situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, does she have like this certain aura about her, and does she give off children vibes? Sure, but the comedy aspect and the things that she jokes about is very much 18 plus. And I think that that's where you have to draw the line and be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be fucking sharing my shit with kids. Now, that's not to say that kids are not going to see your shit, because let me tell you something. I've been out in public and had children walk up to me and say, I love your videos. That's concerning to me. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys, if you do not make content online, it is stupid for you to think that it isn't possible for a child to come across your content, because it 100% is. I think it's up to you to realize that it is not, I cannot control all of these kids and what they watch, and neither can Colleen. She can't. She can't control what all these other children watch. What she can do is what she does in her private time, which is private group chats and private DMs and reaching out on the down low. I would never do that. I would never. I've had children message me hundreds of times. Most of the time I'm able to find their parents and be like, listen, your kids reach out to me. Tell them thank you for their support, but they're too young to be watching my shit, but I love them. I've shared several of those DMs because some of those parents have tried to try me. They've tried to lie, okay? So I shared the DMs because you're not going to fucking play me, okay? Because I'm not talking to no kids. Yes, I will leave your child on red. I sure will. 100%. When I click on their page and they're playing soccer in the middle school softball, soccer field, yeah. Sure will. They're being left on red. You've got to be responsible when you're on the internet. You can't just come on the internet and run around here willy-nilly and, you know, reply to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that messages you and open group chats with people who you don't know who they are. You don't know how old they are. You don't know where they are. You can't be doing all that shit. And that's when you get in situations like this. Now, Colleen, you know, she knew that she was creating a group chat with a bunch of fucking minors. Anyone who is on YouTube has YouTube studios. If they say they don't, they're a liar. There's no way, because it's how you get paid, bitch. On YouTube studios, there is a whole column that's analytics. Underneath the analytics tab, you can see like your demographics. You can see like where people watch you from, like what areas of the world do people watch you from? Are they females or males? What age group are they in? And that, my friends, is where I was able to find this information. And it's actually quite astonishing that I would say at least 85% or maybe close to 90% of who watches Colleen Ballinger, except for her vlog channel, everything else are mainly minors. And when it comes to Miranda Sings videos, that it is 100% minors. So there might be like 2% over the age of 18. But for the better part, it's all minors. And when I think in my head of someone who might watch that content, I'm thinking of people between the ages of like 10 to 15. Like, and 15 is a stretch. Like, 15, I'm kind of just giving her that. I really don't think that. I watched Ready to Glaire's video today, and I agree with her 100%. It's like 10 to 13, 10 to 14. Like, that's the age group I think of. Hi, Malik. That's the age group I think of when I think of who watches, you know, Miranda Sings content. I mean, I've never watched that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Other than just like little clips on the internet. But I've never like went and searched Miranda Sings content. I mean, fuck no. What are you talking about? We're the same goddamn age. I'm not gonna watch this bitch put on lipstick like she's fucking nuts and fuck her hair up and wear granny clothes on and dance around on stage. What the fuck? No, I'm not watching that shit. So moving on. Adam talks about how upset he is that Colleen has never publicly come out with an apology. It's just been, my God. People are so fucking crazy. Anyways, like this comment that just came in if you fuck with me because it's funny as fuck. Way to lighten the mood, Wary Warden 92. Anyways, you know, Adam goes on and says, you know, how it's hurt his feelings that there's never been no public or private apology come his way in the 3 years since he released his video, that's all that he or his parents really wanted because when Adam released his video originally, like I said, he was 17 years old, so he was a minor child. And Adam also has released a tweet to you know, Corey and, sorry, Colleen asking for a public and private apology and that he would never speak publicly about either one of them again as long as he could get an apology. Just being like, hey, like, that was fucking wrong. I should have been talking to you about sex and dildos and mailing lingerie when you were a kid. You know, like, fucking what the fuck. So, Tia, let's talk about Tia. Now, Tia is a longtime supporter / friend of Colleen Ballinger. And a few weeks ago, the video is now deleted. I scoured the internet, and the only clip I could find was what Adam included in his video. So I'm pretty sure that he must have been the only person to save any footage, or else that's just all people are sharing from her video. I have no idea how long her video was. I have no idea what she said in the entire video. So I think it's really unfair to judge her on what she says, what I'm about to share with you that she says in her video, just because there's no proof of the actual video. You know what I'm saying? Like the original. We only have this one little statement that's been shared on YouTube. So anyways, she says that Colleen had given her some great advice when it comes to being canceled and when it comes to the internet, you know, turning their back on you and, you know, holding you accountable and it feels like the whole world's against you, that basically just ignore it. Just don't say a word. Just, you know, turn your back to it. Don't acknowledge it at all. And it's the best revenge. And to a certain extent, I agree with this, right? You know, I think that it depends on what we're talking about. When we're talking about, to a certain extent, allegedly grooming minors and having sexual conversations with minors, I think that you most certainly should address it. You know, you should most certainly go on your platform and be like, yeah, that was fucking sick and I'm a disgusting human being. And I think that I'm going to go and get some type of help because I think that I need it, especially considering I have children. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You have kids. How would you feel, Colleen Ballinger, if your children started watching something on YouTube and then you find out that they're in this private group chat with this 30-something and they're a child? Because I'm telling you right now, if I ever found out that any of my nieces or nephews were in a private group chat with a fucking 30-year-old, I'm going the fuck off and I'm coming for blood. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking to kids for? What do you have to say to a kid? Unless they're a niece and nephew, grandchild, child, like, what do you have to say to a kid? bitch. You don't. And in these group chats, what pisses me off so much is like, there's one point where Adam says he's staying in a hotel, you know, he's on vacation, and he's like, yeah, I'm next door to a dildo shop. Put in your orders now. And Colleen like hops in immediately. And this is one of the things that's been like verified here lately by all these other people, members of this group chat, is that Colleen would never come into the group chat. But every time Adam would talk about anything sexual, she would immediately like jump on it and like come into the group chat. And his screenshots show proof. There's timestamps with the date and the time. And she responds within minutes and is like, you know, haha, like, I don't use dildos. And like all this shit, just crazy shit, y'all. So, after Adam releases his video in 2020, Colleen comes out with her next tour. She had already been planning the tour, but I was able to find online that only 2 weeks before her tour was released, she changed the name. Everything was changed, not only the name, but also like the material that was going to be talked about on the show. And I was able to find this on Fanjoy. So with Fanjoy shows, they have like sister companies, and Fanjoy is a merch company, but they have sister companies where they do all these different tours. And one of them is in partnership with Netflix, which is the one where Haters Back Off, which is the show. That's the place where Miranda does all of her. I keep calling her Miranda, but it's Miranda Sings. It's the show, right? But Colleen is the person. That is the place where that's a company that Colleen has worked with all of her shows, right? And if you are an OG Colleen Ballinger fan, then you know that she was on Netflix on a show called Haters Back Off. And that is when her touring and all that got really popular back in 2016, 17, and people were crazy about her. That's when she, you know, was on Escape the Night and all that shit, right? So she ends up changing the name, and it is called Colleen Ballinger is Canceled, okay? Very much giving off very much Tana Mojo. Listen, the only one person who can really, you know, get away with, how do I verb this? Who can get away with profiting off of their cancellation is Tana Mojo. I just believe that Tana Mojo is the white trash of YouTube. And I think that's why I relate with her so much, because does she take accountability for the shit she's done? Yes, but she also jokes about it, which is very much self-deprecating like me. So I think that's why I relate with Tana Mojo. Is Tana Mojo the best human being in the planet? No. Is anyone on the internet? Fuck no. So I think that's why the two people that I really relate to the most is Tana Mojo and Trisha Paytas. They are like my go-tos, right? Colleen is very much just not my cup of fucking tea. So I had to do a lot of research for this live because I don't watch that bitch. What the fuck? Do I look like I watch her? No. Anyways, it's the way that she goes about it. And this, remember, this is just months after Adam has come forward with all of these goddamn receipts. She then goes and changes her show to Canceled, comes out with all of this fucking merch for her Canceled tour. She leaves on a fucking white screen behind her in the entire show is a bunch of hate comments. And it's basically people being like, you know, are you going to even like bring up all of these allegations? Are you going to talk about anything that's being brought up? Or are you just going to like leave us hanging here? But yeah, puts all of these people's tweets, hate comment tweets on a white screen behind her. And keep in mind, you know, after looking at her demographics, I now know that these are all kids. So this is just another time that this woman has now exploited children, because now you have their hate tweets. You're calling them hate tweets. You have them on a white screen behind you. Now what you've done is you've let a lot of kids down, and you have these kids paint this picture of you in their mind of being this like just perfect person. And now they've realized that this person they look up to so much isn't so perfect. And so instead of just coming out with a fucking video and saying, you know, this is what it is, You know, I'm sorry. I should have never been in a group chat with you guys. I should have never said this. I should have never said that. Instead of doing that, you then exploit them even more and come out with a tour and base it all around the things that you're not doing. So let's talk about Alex. So Alex is another girl who tweeted on Twitter, and she released some screenshots of the first time that she met Colleen back in 2020, and it was during the canceled tour. And she was a huge fan of Colleen, supported her immensely. I believe she was 16 at the time that she seen Colleen at her show. She might have been 17, I'm not sure, but she is a heavier set girl. And this if there's one thing you don't fuck with me, it's kids. If there's another thing you don't fuck up with me, it is body image. Okay, what does someone else's fucking body have to do with you? I'll wait. It doesn't. Number two, what does it matter what you look like taking a photo next to someone who is not tiny? It changes nothing. Listen, here's a good correlation that I heard. I read this on Twitter. Like, and I relate to this immensely because my boyfriend has, I'm not going to call it a dad bod because he definitely has a better bod than a dad bod, but he's like a smaller built guy. He's not like heavy set at all. He is very tall, you know, whatever. Colleen is not extremely tall. I mean, we're talking about my boyfriend who's almost goddamn 6'4". You know what I'm saying? So if he wanted to like put his arm around my shoulder and we're standing up, might he have to lean down a little? Yes. Would he have to squat? Fuck no. I'm 5'9", okay? 5'9", brown eyes. Don't get me started, y'all. So anyways, this girl is heavier set. She is a little bit heavier set than me, but if she is watching this, let me tell you something, girl. Fuck her. She's not shit. You're beautiful. Just forget that shit. That's insecurities. That's her insecurities that she's putting off on you. Don't let her insecurities affect your situation. Don't ever let nobody's, because anytime somebody else comments on your weight, that is their own insecurities. That is their own shit. Okay, I promise you that. But anyways, Colleen and Corey call this girl Alex the big girl, and the group chat gets leaked where they talk about this girl like that, and also say, you know, tell this girl to her face, like tell the girl like you need to squat down a little bit so Miranda can get her arm around you in a photo where this girl was meeting her at a meet and greet. Make that make sense. Make that, please, for the love of God, make that make sense. So you're talking about a smaller person and a bigger person, right? That bigger person needs to squat down so that the skinnier person can get their arm around them. How does that even make sense? The math ain't mathin'. I don't understand that. Huh? What? Huh? Can't you just fucking put your arm around the center of them? Why do you gotta, even if you were putting your arm around the top of them, if they squat down, now you're just looking awkward. Like, so fucked. Anyways, Alex, you're beautiful if you see this. And us over here on the Morgan Shay page, we wish you nothing but the best. Okay, Gemini John, aka Johnny. He also released a video and was confirming all of the original claims that Adam made in his 2020 video. And he also goes on to talk about his experience with Corey, his experience with Colleen, talking about how they treated him like shit, yelled at him, belittled him, and how they talked shit about all kinds of people, which we're going to get into that. And we're actually just going to go ahead and segue into the next topic, which is, and this is so fucking crazy. I haven't found any receipts on this. The only thing I've been able to find is that Adam originally came out with this claim, and then Johnny has confirmed it, which is that Adam and Colleen would make fun of Trisha Paytas. Now, Adam is the boy who released this video. He did say that he apologized to Trisha and he didn't mean any harm about it and all this, that, and the third. But Colleen has not addressed this at all. And what I find very odd is that why would you come out with a podcast with someone who you have made fun of and you body shamed? Because that's actually what it is. For those of you guys who do not know who Trisha Paytas is, I mean, hello, wake up, good morning. She was originally known for being a troll on the internet. If you are not a millennial, you're probably not going to get her satire. It is very much troll-ish, but that's just what our time was about. Like when millennials first got on the internet, it was all about, you know, being a troll and just saying the most outlandish shit to get views. That's just the way it fucking was. Get with it or get lost. Like, it's not that fucking big of a deal. It's not like it's stuff that these people actually fucking believe. It's just something that they say to get fucking views. I mean, Jesus Christ. And Trisha's paid for it to this day. I mean, there's so many fucking influencers who did this shit back in 2012, but have had to pay no repercussions for it. They can just come back to the internet willy-nilly and just post whatever the fuck they want. But for some reason, Trisha Paytas has really had to pay the consequences of making those jokes back in 2012. Okay? Anyways, Trisha Paytas is also notorious for having quite a bit of plastic surgery. And in this plastic surgery, she has had her breast done, and whoever the fuck that doctor was needs to be fucking thrown from a cliff, because her nipples make me want to cry. If those were my nipples, I would be fucking livid. But she embraces her nipples, and for that, we encourage you, Trisha. If you fuck with your nipples, that's all that fucking matters. Your nipples don't do shit to me. No. Her nipples don't do anything to anybody because she's married. So why do we fucking care? If you don't like her fucking nipples, don't look at her fucking nipples. Don't pay for her fucking goddamn OnlyFans if you don't want to see her nipples. I mean, Jesus Christ. People are just, it's like so exhausting. People are just all about canceling people for no goddamn reason. This reason right here is an actual fucking reason. And you know what pisses me off so much is that Trisha has really stayed clear of all the bullshit since Malibu was born. If you don't know who Malibu is, wake the fuck up. It's Trisha 2.0. It's her daughter, Malibu Barbie. Like, what the fuck? That name alone is fucking iconic. Trisha Paytas is an icon. She is an icon. Haven't you ever seen the vampire living in my house is eating my tampons? Because if you haven't, bitch, you have not lived. If you haven't watched Trisha Paytas' video about a vampire eating her bloody tampons, you have not lived. And I'm going to invite you to live and go search that video after this, because goddamn, bitch, I about fucking laughed till I pissed my pants. But anyways, Trisha Paytas has always loved Colleen Ballinger. They have done many videos together, a lot of mukbangs. And since Trisha becoming mommy, she has reached out to Colleen quite a bit, apparently, according to their podcast. I've watched all the episodes. There are currently 3 episodes live. I'm very curious to see if there will be a 4th. We'll find out. But anyways, they just came out with a podcast together, and now it's being brought out that Colleen has made fun of Trisha, her nipples primarily. There's also a clip of one of Colleen's vlogs, which I did search up, and it was a joke, and Trisha is aware of the joke of Colleen calling Trisha a whale. So if you've seen that clip in Adam's video, Trisha is aware of that, and she is understanding of that being a joke. Like I said, millennials have a much, back in 2010 to 2014, we had a much different idea of satire and trollism and like just saying the most outlandish shit to get views. Like, it was just a different time. Just go on. If the person who's being made fun of is okay with the joke, just move on. It has nothing to do with you, boo. Just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. I know you can. Anyways, am I smoking a cigarette? Because I know there's going to be some fucker in the comments saying, are you smoking a cigarette? Yes. These are my goddamn lungs. What are you worried about my lungs for? Huh? User 74609, why are you worried about my goddamn smoke? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't you dare. Because you know what? Yes, when you talk about shit like this on the internet and you guys are messaging me, talk about Colleen. Talk about Colleen. And then I talk about Colleen and I about have a goddamn stroke on YouTube Live. Don't fucking come at me for smoking a cigarette. I try to go out of frame. Shut up. Shut it up. Don't even start. Okay. So, Shane Dawson talks about Colleen years ago on some podcast and talks about how she's just such a fucking, like, she goes for the throat, like she makes fun of everybody, talks shit about everybody, like she comes over to Shane's house and she's like, who we gonna talk shit about? Which then just confirms to me that Shane probably talked about Trisha with her. Like, Shane's probably been talking about Trisha for all these years, and that just makes me fucking sick. Because Trisha, she fucking rode for him so hard. Like, Shane Dawson. Yes, I've watched his conspiracy theory videos. I've watched a few episodes of his podcast, but at the end of the day, like, I just cannot back it up because their friendship was so long term, and you just walk away from that for fucking money. For fucking, and listen, I can relate to Jeffree Star. I've been watching him since MySpace. Obviously, I love me some Jeffree Star, but I love Trisha Paytas more, and that's just the way it is. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, Oliver. Oliver was a girl on Twitter who started getting direct messages from Colleen's brother, Trent. Now, a lot of people have steered away from talking about this because Trent is deaf. And so, therefore, they feel like Trent cannot be held accountable for anything because he is deaf. Okay, listen here. 13% of my viewing audience is deaf. Okay. That is why there is closed captioning available for all of my videos once they've been posted. If you see the little live box up here, they're not going to be available. But if you wait till the live's over, there's going to be closed captioning. And you want to know why? Because I have people who are deaf watching my videos. And one thing that I have learned while talking with them is that they are literally people who treat deaf people like they have some type of like handicap. Is so crazy to me. They are absolutely normal people who just cannot fucking hear. And sometimes I'm thinking like, fuck, that must be nice. You know what I'm saying? To just not hear somebody fucking blabble on about nonsense for hours. Like, fucking sign me up, bitch. Because there's sometimes where I'm just like, ooh, I don't even want to hear your fucking voice no more. I would quite literally rather hear nails scratching on a chalkboard, and I hate that sound. But I honestly, yeah. Honestly, for sure, sign me the fuck up. Like, ooh. Anyways, Oliver is a child. A child. 13, 14-year-old child. And Trent, in his 30s, is reaching out to this child in the DMs and is saying like, oh, like, what's your ideas of sex? Are you sure that you're bisexual? Are you wanting to fuck this person? Like, when will you be able to come to California? When are you going to be 18? Like being very possessive of like when Oliver goes to sleep. Like Oliver was on sleeping medication at the time. And so she would just like fall asleep, and you know, Trent would get really pissed off and be like, don't fall asleep, stay awake, I want you to talk to me. All this fucking weirdo shit. Like continuously, Oliver was having to reiterate her age to Trent, because Trent would like be like, well, how old are you going to be on this date? Okay, well, how long before you can come to California? Okay, well, at that time when you can come to California, how old are you going to be? How far away from 18 are you going to be? Like fucking weirdo shit. Like also sending like videos to Oliver, like of two women having sex, and saying like, does this look like something that she would be into? Like, ugh, like fucking sicko fucking pervert pedophile shit. Like fucking disgusting. And Oliver, if you're watching this, I stand by you 100%, and I hope that you are doing okay, period. All right, Ella is the next one we're going to talk about. Ella was, according to all of the people in the group chat, was Colleen's #1 supporter. Like, had her back in every single fucking circumstance, and would not let anyone talk about Colleen in any shape, form, or fashion. And come to find out, Gemini John, came out with his video and ended up confirming that Colleen would make fun of her. Now, keep in mind, this is a kid who was sick in and out of the hospital. Colleen even flew her out to Anaheim to see one of her shows as like a, you know, charity type situation. And all this time she's making fun of her, talking about how freckles are ugly, and Ella had freckles, talking about how, you know, Ella used to, you know, resonate with a different gender and identify differently, and all this crazy shit. Like, just fucking disgusting. That is not adult behavior. That is not adult. Number one, adults would not be talking to children, because again, the group chat ranged between ages of 13 and 17 years old. I don't think I have anyone any younger than like 25 in my fucking phone book of my phone, in my contacts. I think the youngest person in there is my youngest sister. I mean, I have my nieces and nephews' phones, but like I said, they've never fucking called me once on it. We've never texted. Weird. Okay. Hopefully you guys are all still there. Give me 1 second. Go get yourself a drink or a snack, and I'll be right back. No. What is it? What is it?
What is it?
Nothing. I'm still live.
I'll have to live here in a minute. Go and
Okay.
put the sheet in the
Anywho, Colleen comes out with a tampon video. And I'm going to say here, I'm okay with that. You know, she has a younger audience. However, she doesn't give them proper instructions for inserting a tampon. And I don't fuck with that. Like, at least if you're going to upload a video being like, this is how, like, she's responding to a fan's comment, okay? And she puts the tampon in her goddamn mouth. Like, at least if you're going to upload the fucking video, at least if you're going to do the video, at least show them how to put in a fucking tampon correctly. Don't fucking tell them, yeah, put the tampon in your mouth, bitch. And then she goes on tour, and in one of the photo ops, they all put tampons in their mouth. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine being a parent and being like, Mom, I know I haven't started my period yet, but can you totally stop by CVS so I can grab a box of tampons that cost fucking goddamn $8 so that I can use one of them and stick it in my mouth in a picture with Colleen at her show? Hee hee. I'd be like, fuck no. Absolutely fucking not. What the fuck? My next note says, inappropriate combos with Adam, him being 14, talking about sex with her in her 30s. So this is all a part of Adam's original video, but Colleen was very openly talking to him about sex, different ways to have sex, different sexual orientations, talking about handcuffs and, you know, calling them Mirandas, and talking about dildos and vibrators and all these things in the group chat with a bunch of, again, 13 to 17-year-old children. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's screenshots of it. I know. What the fuck? At this point, it's just me going to be repeatedly saying, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Who talks to kids this way? It's fucking giving amnesia on it. I can't. Okay. Then we have, next on my notes, it says Sam and Libya for kids, giving items to kids. If you don't remember this was like a segment that Colleen had on her channel, like her YouTube channel, with her and Corey, where they were Sam and Libya. And they would talk in these like really odd voices, and they would dress up in costumes. Like they had like these little outfits they'd wear. And there's this one video where they're fucking with a pumpkin. And this is the one that like, I'm like, okay, I see what you all are trying to do here. Now the problem is again, children watch your videos. Children watch your videos. And they're like, oh, I like my hole bigger. I like my ball to be smaller so I can cup it. I really like to dig down in there, and I love how wet it is. Like, y'all, the innuendos in that fucking pumpkin video about made me want to fucking puke. Because the whole time you have to be thinking in your mind, children are watching this. Children are watching this. So if you don't have kids, do like me and think about your godkids, your nieces, your nephews, your fucking boyfriend's kids, like any child watching this, like any fucking child, even a child you don't fucking know is watching this and hearing these things, and it's just like innuendos from hell. Like, I want my balls to be where I can cup them. I want my hole to be small so it's really tight squeeze, like crazy shit. Like, y'all, I can't. Then they would give items away. So there's one video where Colleen got a lot of hate for. This was back in 2020, where it resurfaced that she had done a giveaway, I believe on Instagram. It might have been you now, I can't remember. But it was a lingerie set. And she ended up giving this away to a minor. This minor was Adam, and this is how a lot of this shit started, and his parents were fucking pissed. Like, why the fuck is a fucking 30-year-old woman sending you lingerie? I mean, think about it as a parent. Like, even if you aren't a parent like me, like, think about it from if you were a parent. If my child came to me or JP and was like, hey, my favorite YouTuber sent me a lingerie set, I'm gonna be like, fucking come again? Number one, why are you watching somebody on YouTube that's giving away fucking lingerie? Number two, why are they sending lingerie to minors? Like, Absolutely crazy. And they would give all kinds of items away. And again, a lot of things were very much sexual in nature. All of these videos that I've seen of Sam and Labia is very much sexual in nature, like talking about the size of things and the wetness. And there's also this one image that they share in a video that is of that like marshmallow fluff, and it's on a spoon. And they're like, what does this look like? Bitch, if my child would have been watching that shit and come to me and be like, Mom, what does this look like? I'm like, okay, where the fuck did you see it, number one? Who am I killing, number two?
Something to drink.
Yeah,
What do you want?
it don't matter. Sweet tea. Okay. Next up. I've talked about her demographic. Okay. This one pisses me off even more. This is the videos that Colleen does with dogs, cats, chickens, you name it. But number one, the cats. I feel like the cats got the worst rap. Even though the chickens got, killed, the cats got like long-term ABUSE because Jesus Christ. Jesus. So let's start with the dogs because that dates back the longest with Colleen, and then we'll work into cats, and then we'll work into chickens. So with the dogs, she has videos of where she has to put the dogs down because of her kids. Understandable. Your dog bit your child, whatever, you have it put to sleep. That's, that is your decision between you, the dog, God, and your child. Like, that's none of my fucking business. But she does this other video, I believe, with Corey in the video. I can't remember. And she talks about how she decides to pinch the dog's skin at the back of its neck. And the dog gets pissed off, of course, and fucking bites her in the face. And so she goes to the hospital, and the doctor's like, what happened? And she's like, oh, my dog bit me in the face. Like, he just bit me out of nowhere. And then she says the dog had to be put to sleep. No, bitch. No, bitch. You pinched the dog's fucking skin, and he reacted like an animal's gonna react and bit you. And bit you. Like you fucking deserve. Like you fucking deserve, and you went and put that dog to sleep. Foul as fuck. Foul as fuck. Foul as fuck. So now let's move into the cats, shall we? And this part's going to make me even more fucking pissed because all the videos that I watched, which I went back and watched every single video that Adam McIntyre referenced in his video of her with these cats. We're talking about her throwing cats. We're talking about her forcing her cats to sit in one place and like pet them really fucking hard like this. And then them hiss at her and she's still like, is like, no, you have to stay right here. And she's in the Miranda Sings character. The cat eventually like jumps off. She shoves the cat in a fucking bag. In a fucking bag. A brown bag, shoves the cat in the bag, closes it, rolls the bag up, holds the bag like this on camera. And here's what's even more crazy is that she copyrighted that video, which if you're not a YouTuber and you don't know what I'm talking about, it basically means where you say nobody can share your video. Nobody can show that clip of your video, which none of her others are. There's like certain clips that can't be, which are all fucked. But this clip in particular speaks volumes because why don't you want anybody to see that you're shoving a cat in a bag? Huh? Because you're fucking cruel, you're fucking disgusting, and you're scum. She shoves this cat in a bag, you guys, and is dressed as Miranda, obviously, because if I'm dressed as Miranda, it's okay. Because she's making videos for children, again, not adults, because adults would be like, what the fuck? You just put a cat in a goddamn bag. Rips the little hole and keeps saying like, it's hatching, it's hatching, it's hatching, it's hatching. It takes the cat like forever to get out. She shoves the cat down her fucking pants, in her pussy, like all kinds of fucking shit, you guys. And then she's on tour, and which it's blurred out in Adam McIntyre's video, thank God. Hers is still not. If you watch the original vlog, it's still not blurred. she shows this dead cat in the road. And then she shares that she has shared with all of her followers for the past couple of days that this cat has been missing. And now it's dead. So let's just, you know, dissect this a little bit. It's just a fucking loser. Let's just dissect this a little bit. You have a fan base that is only children, right? And one of them has now reached out to you and said, my cat's missing. I live in your town. Okay, this is what it looks like. You have then found the cat dead on the side of the road. And instead of reaching out to this child and being like, hey, I found your cat, I'm so sorry it's dead, you decide to put it in your blog and be like, oh my God, it's dead. Like, not finding Ava, she's dead. LOL. What the fuck? That's so sick. And then the chickens. Okay, here's the thing with chickens. If you're gonna have chickens and you don't know how to house chickens properly, especially in fucking California, where they are known for coyotes and fucking crazy ass wildlife like that. Don't get them.
Don't get any.
You're not gonna fucking house them properly, and you're gonna make it to where other animals can jump over a fucking pen. Chickens can jump over a pen. A pen, you know, you have to put chickens in a fucking closed ass coop. You put them in a closed ass coop. Do people just know nothing? Did they just do no research? So she puts them in this like little bitty pen. And of course, the coyote gets in and eats them all. And then she decides to upload a video on YouTube crying, oh my God, I'm such a fucking dumbass. All of my chickens got eaten because I had them in this really nice pen.
Does she want us to agree?
Bitch, chickens jump. Are you aware? Have you never seen a fucking video of a chicken jumped up way high on a fence line like, doo-doo-doo? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And do you not think a coyote can jump in a fucking fence? Get real. Get with it. Get with it or get lost. All right, next up, we're at the very end here, is, and this one, this is the end, because once I got to this part, I was like, okay, I'm done with this shit. This has now officially reached my meter of how much I can handle before I'm going to snap in my video, and I don't want to snap on you guys because you guys have done nothing wrong. And this is the cancer fundraiser situation. So I have done cancer fundraisers on my YouTube channel. I've done them on Instagram. So many influencers and people on social media have done them. I do them every year at Christmas. And typically, what I've always done anyways, and what any other influencer I know of does, is they link it directly to the fundraiser. So like when you click the link, you go straight to the fundraiser's website. Why would you come to my Cash App? Why would you come to my Venmo? If I'm doing a fundraiser for American Cancer Society or St. Jude's, which are St. Jude's and American Cancer Society, I do every Christmas. Every time you click that link in my bio, or not my bio, this is not Instagram, but my description box, it takes you to St. Jude's, or it takes you to American Cancer Society, or it takes you to NAMSHA, or whatever, whoever I'm working with, whether it's like Rain or it's SAMSHA or whatever. The ones that I work with the most is St. Jude's, Rain, and SAMSHA, which is, Rain is sexual assault. You know, you've got SAMSHA, which is drug and alcohol addiction, and then there's St. Jude's, which is a children's cancer hospital. Anytime that I do any type of fundraiser, when you click that link in my description box, it takes you directly to that website so that you can donate your money to that fundraiser, right? Miranda has numerously done fundraisers for these different cancer places. I believe American Cancer Society is one of them. However, when you click the link in her description box to go and donate money, it takes you to her Cash App. It takes you to her Venmo.
Donate to her.
So all the money goes to her, and then what she says she's going to do, allegedly, is donate that money to that corporation. Okay. So then people are like, okay, sweet. Can we have a receipt of that? Because I donated X amount of dollars. I want to make sure that my money is going to the right place. Can you, whatever. And
I'm doing something.
what are you doing? So anyways, she still has not shown receipts of that. So all these people who have asked to say and have been like, hey, can you just show me receipts of where you've donated my money to this cause? Like, still to this day, there are no receipts. She still to this day has not uploaded anything. People have reached out to the organizations. And of course, they don't want to get sued. So of course, they're going to be like, you know, as far as we're aware, every time she's at, because they don't know how much money she probably raised. If it's going to Venmo, or if it's going to Cash App, if it's going to whatever. They don't know. That's so fucking disgusting. Don't try to raise money for something. If you have something important to me, which, like, the main one of importance to me is Samsha and Rain. Those are the two corporations that I like to do my fundraisers for the most, because Samsha is obviously the most important to me. I suffered from a drug addiction for over a decade, and that's super important to me. It helps addicts get the help and resources they need, to get in rehab, to get a place to live, to get a job, to get a car, to whatever, to help them with their probation. Like, it has so many resources. And Rain helps people in, you know, either sexual assault situations or whatever, DV situations, like all kinds of shit. And it's just like a really good fucking organization. And St. Jude's, like, that's just fucking heartbreaking to think about a child having to deal with cancer. Like, what the fuck? You don't want anybody to deal with cancer, but especially an innocent child. Like, fuck that. So, bottom line, you guys, obviously, all y'all want to know is my fucking final thoughts. That's all you all ever want out of these fucking videos. It's fucking bullshit. This is just another power dynamic situation where someone who has a large following and who has a lot of money has reached out to a fan. But in this situation, we're talking about a child. We're talking about a 13, 14-year-old child who, of course, this is their idol. They're gonna, of course, if their idol is talking to them about dildos or sex, or, you know, is talking to them more when they talk about sex, of course that's going to be the prime topic. I mean, if I had Britney Spears texting me when I was fucking 13 years old, being like, hey, so what's your favorite sex position? I had no idea at that age, but I would pull something out of my ass. I'd come up with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your idol. That's who you look up to the most. If that's when they're talking to you, you're going to continue conversation. You're going to do what you can to talk to them. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I really hope that Trisha does not continue the podcast. However, this is something everybody needs to keep in mind. If the podcast does continue, there may be a contract in hand that we do not know about. So please do keep that in mind. Trisha could end up losing millions of dollars. Colleen is also very financially stable. She has done many tours. She has done a lot of business stuff. She's been on Escape the Night. She's been on Netflix. Like, I'm sure that her management team had her come up with some type of contract with Trisha when they started this podcast. So if there is another podcast release, do not send hate to Trisha, because she may not have any choice whatsoever. I do think, however, Trisha is one of those people, she's like me, that when she is in a very difficult situation for her and she doesn't feel comfortable, it's all over her face. It's written all over her face. I'm the same way. Like, I think that we'll be able to read the room in that situation. But again, if it's re-edited and edited and edited, or retake, and they're like, no, you need to do it better, you need to do it better, you need to do it better, because of all the heat that's on Colleen, they may have to refilm it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It, you know, whatever. If she's under contract, they'll have to. So just keep that in mind. Be smart, you guys. Don't, you know, everybody just wants to hate Trisha over every little bitty, minuscule thing. And this just might be a thing that she just cannot get herself out of. Now, listen, Trisha's been sued a blue million times. I've done a Trisha video, and looking into all the times that this bitch was sued, like, is fucking crazy. So even if she is under contract, she might say, fuck, you know how Trisha is. I mean, who knows? She does have her daughter now, so she might play it a little bit smarter and just kind of go with the flow and finish however many episodes. Usually a first season's like 7 episodes or something like that. So maybe what she'll do is just finish the first, you know, season and then wash her hands. Who knows? There may be more to come of this. And also keep in mind, you guys, that Photoshop is a thing. So do I want to... I'm the type of person that if someone, especially someone who was a minor, someone who has been sexually assaulted comes forward with their story, I am always pro, like, believe that person. Validate what they're saying. Stand beside them. But I also want to be, you know, realistic here. And, you know, Colleen is a very, 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 very popular YouTuber. She is a very much OG. And it's very hard for me to sit back and think, wow, okay, she did all this? Really? With the size platform she has and all this, like she was willing to risk everything for what, this 2-second conversation, and for her to be like, all right, going to bed, hee. Like, it's just very crazy. Photoshop is a thing. Now, her videos are her videos. She made those videos. Were they years and years and years ago? Yes. Do people grow from years and years and years ago? Absolutely. As I said in the beginning of this video, things that millennials and Gen X think were what we joked about in 2010 would now be deemed as super inappropriate and not something that's cool to joke about. And I get that. You know, yes, we are very much a self-deprecating two generations. We, Gen X and millennials, that's one thing that we can relate with one another, is like we are very self-deprecating. So we will joke about our own shit. We will joke about our own traumas. We will joke about our diseases. We will joke about our weight. We will joke about all of our things. We're very self-deprecating. That is not Gen Z. Gen Z is not with the shit. So that whole era of jokes has really fallen from grace, which is probably a good thing. We probably don't need to be joking about our mental illnesses and our childhood traumas and things that we actually went through. It's probably a very healthy thing that we no longer joke about those things, and it's no longer okay. But I just do want to say, like, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. What you see on the internet is not always real. It's just not. It's just so easy to recreate things. So if it comes out that all of this has been a big fat lie, don't lose any sleep at night. Just know, like, just another fucking scheme from the internet. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I know my #1 comment is going to be, when are you fucking releasing a story time? She's ran out of story time. She has no more story times.
Oh,
where are the story times? Bitch, I could live no more. I could die tomorrow and there would still be 1,600 story times to upload to this channel. So don't worry about that. I have taken a 7-month hiatus from uploading an actual edited video, and I do want to upload a video. I do want to do a life update with this one here, and kind of introduce you guys to him. I've done a little bit of that on live, but I haven't done like a full in-depth video. So let me know if you guys want that. If you guys want to be introduced to him and know who he is and what's going on his side of the plank. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Until the very next time. Bye.
Bye.